Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome to Metarune and the Frost Caves Complete Guide. So if you're looking for information on how to take on your first Frost Cave, you have found yourself in the right place. First of all, I just want to drop a big spoiler warning. Of course, this is new content, so if you're wanting to experience it at your own pace, that's totally cool. I've put time codes for all of the different sections in the description down below if you want to jump around. So how do you actually find these Frost Caves? Well, they're a new dungeon in the mountains biome, similar to the sunken crypts in the swamp or the burial chambers in the Black Forest. So you need to find yourself an unexplored mountains area. One thing that I will mention is that the terrain loads in kind of beyond what you reveal on your map when you're exploring, so you'll need to go a ways past that fog of war that you can see on your map. When you found yourself a new mountain biome, you want to look for the frost caves from the bottom up. If you come from the top down, they often just look like rocks covered in snow. As you make your way up, you're looking for these cave entrances that have a round stone structure with stalagmites and stalactites around the entrance. In terms of preparation and gear, I would suggest that you take it in gear that you would wear coming out of the swamp, troll hide or iron gear. Definitely do it the way it was intended from the Iron Gate devs if you're not starting a new world to test out the Frost Caves. I think this will give you a really good sense of how challenging the content is intended to feel. It's also worth noting that you are sheltered inside the cave, so you only need frost resist potions for actually making your way to the frost cave. Now these dungeons are big, they're randomly generated and can be up to 60 meters deep. So it's easy to get lost, you need to watch your step, and you could easily fall to your death. I would definitely recommend bringing some wood, as you can now build signs to keep track of your direction inside. You can also build fires inside to get yourself rested. All right, we're all ready to go. Now let's make our way inside. So when you enter a frost cave, they'll occasionally be blocked by a wall of ice like this. You can simply break these and walk straight through, but keep an eye out for deeper in the cave as they often lead to secret hallways and that kind of thing. There are 3 new monsters that you need to be on the lookout for. The first are bats. They usually come at you more than one at a time. You'll be most successful with a melee weapon generally. It's pretty hard to shoot them out of the air. They don't do too much damage and they're blockable, so I wouldn't worry too much about them. Next, we have the Ulv, which is kind of like the Fenring's cousin that runs around on all fours. They're not too bad in a one-on-one scenario, but they can gang up on you, so be careful for that. My tips for them are to catch them by surprise. Often they lie on the ground kind of curled up before they notice that you're there, and they're pretty easy to pick off with your bow in that circumstance. They're actually pretty damn cute when they're sleeping. I would love to take one of these home as a pet. Also, if you get a couple of them, there are often ledges that are on the caves that you can kind of kite them towards, and you can stand up on the ledge and they have a hard time reaching you. The last enemy is called the Cultist, and you usually find them behind a bloody door. Whenever you see these, be really careful when you're approaching. The Cultists are essentially Fenrings with superpowers, so watch out for that fire breath. They do a ton of damage, and their fire breath burns you for damage over time, longer than other fires it seems as well, so definitely try to kite them around to stay away from that if possible. Be careful in the tight quarters of groups of enemies too, because that's definitely caught me a time or two. They have a couple different attacks, both the breathing fire and a slash attack. They're a little bit slow, it's kind of easy to dodge their attacks, and they are weak to slash and fire damage. So I find the best way to deal with them is either fire arrows or a sword of some sort. I've got to say, Iron Gate nailed these fire effects. They've got to be my favorite in the game, and like that death effect, oh my goodness, that is awesome. So, what sweet loot can you get from all this awesome stuff? Let's have a look. So all in all, we have 3 new materials. We've got red jute, which is a sturdy, rough fabric. Fenris hair, a bundle of thick, rough hair. It has a strong smell. And the Fenris claw, it is hard and sharp like iron. We also have 2 new trophies. We've got the Cultist trophy. The fire in its eyes has still not burned out. And the Ulv trophy, a rugged tale from a not-so-good boy. Now, let's see where you can get these new materials. These braziers, you can break down with a weapon or your pickaxe, and they give you coal and occasionally bronze. There are the meat piles here, which can give you entrails and the silver necklaces. On these wolf pedestals, you can often find the new Fenris claw, as well as Fenris hair. Now, on these side sections, there's pickable Fenris hair. You can target this Fenris hair, but it doesn't actually allow you to pick it. But if you actually swing and destroy things, then you can break to potentially grab the jute. And for this stuff that is higher up, you can shoot it with an arrow. And it'll fall down and you can grab that Fenris hair. There's also skeletal remains for bones all over the place. Because we really needed more bones, right? You can break these claws for bone fragments if you need more. There's often meat piles hidden underneath, again, where you can get entrails, coins, silver necklaces, and more treasure. Make sure you destroy these red curtains whenever you see them. They can give you the jute material, and also sometimes they'll reveal hidden passageways for you. Keep an eye out for pickable crystal as well. This is a new item they've added to the game, so you no longer need to kill stone golems to get crystal. Pretty nice addition. I see many builds with windows in the future. Now, all these new items can craft some awesome things. First of all, we have the brand new Fenris armor set. This has a really cool look. It's kind of this dark, thatched appearance that you make out of all of the Fenris fur and claws. There's a new weapon as well, the Flesh Rippers. They're kind of like Wolverine claws. They're a new two-handed, unarmed weapon. But yeah, overall loving the aesthetic of this. Pairs really well with a nice black linen cloak. Love the blacked out mask with the eyeballs that are kind of emanating out from within there. Yeah, really great look. So let's get into the stats. This new armor set has 3 different pieces. There's no gape to it. The first is the Fenris coat. I'll read you the descriptions. The beast could draw deep breaths so that its howl could be heard far across the land. For the leggings, the legs of the beast was lean and strong so that it could leap great strides. And for the hood, the eyes of the beast were wise and knowing so that it could measure the strength of a warrior in one glance. There's a set effect with this armor that reads, the Fenris armor makes you quick on your feet so you can pass through fire and your fists feel the power of the beast. So when you've got all 3 pieces on, you are resistant versus fire, which will be really nice against those cultists. And it also adds 15 to your fist or unarmed ability. This is really nice to pair with the Flesh Rippers, which are an unarmed weapon, which we'll look at in a second. Looking at the armor, each of the 3 pieces has an armor of 10, so 30 total at level 1. As you upgrade, obviously that's going to increase, so we're looking at an armor of 12 on each item for level 2, 14 on each item for level 3, and at max level, we've got 16 on each item for a total of 48, so pretty decent armor stats for the bonuses that you get. The coat specifically has a resistance versus frost, so this is really nice because you don't have to wear it with a Lox cape or a wolf cape for frost resistance. This means that you can rock a black linen cape, which I think looks really awesome. Also, each of these 3 armor pieces gives you plus 3 movement speed for a total of 9 when you're wearing the full set. This is awesome as it actually means you can run faster than when you're naked. Next, let's look at the Flesh Rippers. If claws work for wolves, why not for a Viking? Really love the Wolverine style here. It ties in super well with Fenrings and Wolves, the whole bunch of these mobs. So it's Repair Station level 3. We've got a slash damage of 60. Stamina cost is 10. Block force is 7. Block force is 10. Parry bonus of 6 times. Knockback of 20. So these do have a decent knockback. And backstab of 6 times. So you're going to want to kind of pounce on people from behind and try and get that backstab damage. As we upgrade, the slash damage goes to 64 at level 2. 68 at level 3, and at max level it is 72 slash damage. Now, one thing to point out, these are the only unarmed weapon that we have at this point. Firespark81 has a great video covering the balance of these and kind of how they fit in the meta, and he talks about some really interesting facts about how they're kind of a challenge to fit into the current weapon set. It's quite hard to level your unarmed skill, especially now that you can't punch rocks and that kind of thing like you used to be able to. So it's hard to have your stats at a decent level where you can be effective with these when you actually get them. And then there's no sort of progression from here onto the next armor set or materials in future biomes. So it's in a bit of a weird place right now. Hopefully we see them add more unarmed weapons in the future, and this isn't just a one-off, but definitely go check out Firespark's video if you're wanting more details into how these Flesh Rippers fit in with other weapons. Lastly, we've got a few new build items that come with the new materials, so let's jump in and have a look at those. First of all, we have the new standing brazier, which is really cool. I've been wanting this for a long time. You know, we've got the hanging ones, and now we've got some to place on the ground. The new braziers have a really nice design. They've got this tripod base on the bottom with Fenris claw accents along the sides with coals in the middle. I'm really liking how these look. Next, we have the new red jute carpet, which I really like the look of. It's got this really complex texture, and the red is a super rich color, so I think it'll be really nice to kind of fancy up your builds. It's also got really square corners, which is excellent for kind of tiling these, so you could potentially carpet an entire room on this. And finally, we also have the new red jute curtain, an alternative to using banners and that kind of thing. Again, it uses this nice red color and texture, adds a little bit more detail to your builds and just kind of makes things feel a little bit more luxury. It's kind of a fresh new version of the old tattered red curtains that you see inside the frost caves themselves. It's great to get some new build pieces. I actually just released a video with some build tips on how you can use these in your own build, so check that out in the linked card up above. If you want to play the Frost Caves with me, join my Discord server. You can find the link in the description down below. I play on Jirok the Viking servers. We've got over 100 other Vikings, so if you want to make some Viking friends, check out that link. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful and it helps you conquer your first Frost Cave. You made it this far, so you obviously liked the video. Why don't you give it that like down below and help out the channel? Subscribe for more Valheim and build videos. Enjoy the Frost Caves, and I'll catch you next time.